saying out loud. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spooky Tuesday. It doesn't rhyme perfect, but ladies and gentlemen, spooky season is among us. So all my goblin and ghouls, TikTok fools, blue cheese tycoons, gather, smash pumpkins, do a dab. The arm will not do a dab of marijuana, or you can do that if you want. But ladies and gentlemen, we're getting off topic. The spookiest time of the year is here, okay? And we're gonna celebrate bars, spooky bars, spider bars, goblin bars, werewolf bars.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Listen, there is an art form to what I do with these songs in the beginning of the podcast. I don't listen to them first, okay? Because I feel it puts me in a position where I got to improvise, acting, the actor's studio, okay? And that's what I bring to you, just straight off the top of the dome. Let it be known that that's what it's going to do, baby, okay? It's going to do what it's going to do when we do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome to Litty Titty Tuesday, also known as Spooky Tuesday. Okay? Spooky season is among us. Isn't it? Honestly, out of all the basic trends that I see, out of all the basic trends that I see, spooky season is probably my favorite. And you know what it's telling you at the end of the day? Your boy's basic. I'm a basic bitch when it comes to Halloween. And I'm not ashamed of it. I feel like everybody, if we're going to have fun with one holiday, fuck Christmas. Christmas is the most unhealthy holiday that we celebrate. No one really looks forward. That's the cruel trick about Christmas, is that no one is actually excited once you're an adult for Christmas. Because you know what it probably means? You got to be around some people that Christmas family fighting. Okay? There's always going to be drama. So who actually is like, yay, let's go over to this relatives? And I'm just spitballing here. I'm not trying to throw shade at any of my relatives. I'm just saying this is a metaphor. Okay? Because I know somebody's going to contact me and be like, hey, just think, I kind of feel like you're talking about me when you're talking about my 7-layer dip, you know? I'm not directing this at anybody. It's a metaphor, okay? But no one is ever like, yeah, I want to go to this family dinner and get judged for my life choices. No, yeah, I love backhanded compliments. Let's rejoice over some ham and my life choices as the butt of your jokes. Yeah, that's what we want to do during the holidays. I feel like Christmas is just, it makes you feel thankful for the rest of the year when you're like, that's the true meaning of Christmas. I don't have to be around these people anymore. You know? I feel like that's what it's come to as you become an adult. When you're a kid, Christmas is amazing. Some of my fondest memories around Christmas time, driving down after you open the gifts and going down to my grandpa's house, hanging out with my cousins, just running around, running amok through the neighborhood, going through the park, playing with my grandpa's dog, but you couldn't play with my grandpa's dog too long. Why? Red Rocket. That dog loved to pitch a tent. Chris Hansen, if there was a Chris Hansen of dogs, it would go to my grandpa's house and pull Dog. That was the name of my grandpa's dog. And it would be like, hey, dog, why don't you take a seat? These are some underage boys, and you are red rocketing all over their Christmas. Ironically, it looked like a light bulb. Christmas tree light bulb. Fuck that one up. Yeah, but Christmas, you can keep it, okay? You can keep it. I don't want any more forced interactions, all right? I'm good with it. And And it's got to be worse. I'm talking in general here. It's got to be worse for a lot of people. Some of the stories I hear where I'm just like, ugh. Some people are like, that's what was dope probably back in the day during like exploration days. I think about that a lot. I don't know why. I'm just a fucking old man philosopher about like in the days of exploration. Like now everything's connected with the internet. But back in the day, you could just walk out of your hut, go a half a mile over a hill, and start a new life. You just start over, a new family, new kids. And if you see your old family coming over the hill, you might be okay just shooting them with a bow and arrow. Not today, Satan. You know, got to protect your investment. This new family's working out fine. But let's say even more time, you just get in a boat and you're like, I'm exploration. I'm going to go help find discover the new world. You know, that's what people would do. I did have that video about the history of men and world travel, and the whole reason was just to get away from their wives. Hacky. But you could really do that if you were just like, you didn't have to have family interactions. You didn't have to go to Christmas dinners, awkward hearing in-laws or anybody just spitting some bullshit at you, your life choices. Listen, I have to come clean. No one really judges me for my life choices in my family, you know, very supportive, some of them, you know, and, but I can just imagine some of the bullshit people have to deal with. And no family's perfect. I feel like that's the underlying thing. It's like everybody's just like, oh yeah, Christmas is going to be great. And you think about it at the table, but it's like your mind fucking Disney's that shit up. It fucking hallmarks it into like a memorable time, you know? All those backhand compliments. You're sitting there on fucking New Year's, the ball's about to drop, and you're like, what did that bitch mean when she said, well, I'm happy for you anyway? Oh, what do you mean you're fucking happy for me, Karen? Huh? You don't like my life choices? What if I did just start making this about me and I'm like, oh, yeah, you think I'm not funny enough? Huh? I should have stuck with nursing? Is that what you're telling me right now? This economy? Yeah, I know fucking nurses are making a fucking $150 an hour right now during COVID. Goddamn capitalists. That's what's kind of nuts. And we're not going to even jump into COVID. But the amount of nurses that are quitting because of the V word. I don't even want to say it and get flagged, but they don't want to get the V in them. And because of that, they're getting fired all across the country. The president came out and said, he's not my president, he's your president. But he came out and said they're going to deploy the National Guard to fill the void of nurses quitting in droves. How the fuck did these people go from being heroes last year to now they're the plague? We're treating them like the Hunchback in Notre Dame now. Everybody has fucking memory loss. You remember all those videos of nurses with fucking N95 masks on their face taking care of your fat ass? Alright, too far. Welcome to the ASMR edition of this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. But that is nuts. People have fucking, I think that's the issue with the whole Biden thing, is that the dementia is wearing off on other people. Or they're just like forgetting that, like, oh yeah, we were just calling these people heroes. And now they're like going against the science. Everybody's like, the science, follow the science. We're not getting into this. Pull out, Evan.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, too deep.
We almost went back in, but we pulled out. Because that's just what you got to do in Texas now. No more cream pies for you and I in the great state of Texas. Because you're gonna have to raise that kid or drive to Louisiana and get a weird back alley abortion from a lady who does some weird dark arts, magic, Santeria with Theo Vaughn. Down there things get kinda weird. But in the land of Texas, no abortions here. We don't kill no babies. A fetus is like, save me from this lady who's just trying to make the right decision, 'cause she's like, I can't raise this thing. So why would I want to bring a fucked up thing into this world? That's it. Listen, I pull out hard, just like that song. I live hard, I pull out hard, all right? That doesn't even make goddamn sense. The original idea that we even brought any of that up, spooky thieving. It's the greatest holiday of the year. What do we got right now? It's the greatest. It doesn't get better than Halloween. Just the feeling that you get.
Watching scary movies. Spooky movies.
Your boy loves getting scared. I don't know why. But you don't know when I don't like it? As soon as I gotta go to bed. That shit sucks. Because guess what? Your boy has an imagination. So I start watching scary movies. And I'm like, cool. The sun is still up. And then I go to bed and I'm like, hey, fuckface, remember that movie with the doll in it? Imagine if she was under your bed right now. Then I'm like, Evan, why would you say that? And he'd be like, it wasn't me who said that. It was the little doll. And then I'm thinking about it. And I'm gonna go pee in the middle of the night. And I'm like, she's gonna grab your fucking foot in the middle of the night, Evan. That's what's gonna happen. And then I gotta fucking jump off my bed like fucking Mario brother, just whoop across the room. And then I'm going pee. And I'm like, what if this little bitch comes up, slices my Achilles tendon? And then I'm just on the ground, fucking army crawling back to my room. And then I hear, I want to play. And then that's how I go. Okay, a fucking butter knife in my neck. You know what I'm saying? You get it. But spooky season's amazing. It's the greatest holiday. What other holiday could top it? And I feel like not enough people are on board with it. I feel like we just got to put more effort into Halloween. All right, it's a great thing. What was the day after? Is it Hallows Eve? Dude, there's some like the actual history of Halloween is kind of crazy. But also, what is the one? There's like one where they dress up relatives, like where they actually get their dead relatives out of the ground and walk them around town. I mean, that's kind of nuts. That's nuts. Let's change topics. What are we doing here? I should have used this one for Texas and the abortions. Fucking nuts. But I'm not going to do that bit twice. I've been watching this show. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. It's by the same people who made the O.J. Simpson trials on Netflix. If you never saw O.J., it's phenomenal. It takes you through the whole case of the O.J. Simpson trial. But they have a new one out that's airing right now on Hulu or wherever you bootleg your TV from. It's called Impeachment. And it's about the Monica Lewinsky and Clinton scandal. And it is mind-blowing. What's mind-blowing about it is because I was a kid when that scandal was going on. And I vaguely remember it. What I basically thought was that I thought they just got caught in an affair. You know how your brain as a little kid, you don't know what the fucking the details of a presidential affair. You don't know. I just figured, oh, he got caught cheating. And I remember it being like some weird DNA on the dress. I don't know, like the actual details of what went on with Clinton and Monica Lewinsky is insane. And you know who is batshit crazy? Monica Lewinsky. And I'm pretty sure she's a producer on this show. Don't quote me on that. But she must have been so insane, the fact that she is actually painting herself this way. And it might be from the angle of she was a young, innocent girl who fell madly in love with the president. And there's so many weird details of what went on that just it's so odd. I look at Bill Clinton and I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? Because she starts as like this intern in the White House. And this bitch, Linda Tripp, be tripping, okay? Because she is just conniving and looking, and she's just a narcissist, and you could tell she's just doing anything to try to be relevant in life. And she feels like she's been, kind of brushed away from, and no one cares about how dedicated like she was to the White House, and she got moved to the Pentagon. That's where she met Monica Lewinsky. And their entire life or friendship, she had been plotting a way to get information. She had all this stuff, the details of Monica and Bill Clinton dating. She had it all in an Excel spreadsheet every time they met and how long it was and what they did. And Monica, for some reason, was like, yeah, write all this down. And then Linda Tripp was recording every conversation with Monica Lewinsky for like what seemed like a year. Just tons of tapes over and over and over again, trying to get anything she could use as evidence to write a book about this so she can make money. Like, that is the whole reason this scandal came out, was because Linda Tripp wanted to write a book and expose Bill Clinton. And not for any reason like he was a dog, because everybody knew that he was a dog. But it was slimy. Speaking of slimy, the semen on the dress. Stupid. Don't even chuckle at that, please. I always thought that, I don't know what I thought. If I'm being real here, we're going to get real candid right now. I thought maybe, like, somehow they did that thing. Old Billy busted a nut, and it somehow got on the dress. That went in a hamper in some public facility. I don't know how they got the dress. I feel like Monica was just like, oh, he's denying that we had a thing. Well, this dress that's been in there for a day, I can show it. Get the DNA sample. She had this dress with dry semen on it for over a year. A crusty old dress in her closet. And she was like, oh, I just haven't been to the dry cleaners. She was keeping it as some sick thing because she was so infatuated with the president and just addicted to him and just crazy that she was keeping it probably as like some weird trophy. And that's literally what ended up getting him caught. And it's like the most, I even remember it as a kid of him being like, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And then like a boop, as soon as the evidence came out, he goes, America, I've lied to you. I'm embarrassed for my family, you know? But it's insane. But what's most crazy about this is the Clintons. For one, the amount of power that politicians have. And I feel like it's only getting worse. And we're not going to go into our normal crazy, the government is controlling us shit that sometimes we dive into on this podcast. I feel like it's gotten worse because of social media, because once a narrative can be controlled, you can say whatever you want. But even back in the day, during this scandal, you were seeing the inside mechanics, like how things were working. I don't know if that's the right word, mechanisms in place to completely tear down someone's character. And it wasn't as easy as it is now. Like now I almost feel like there's a way that you can fight against it through awareness and everything. But I mean, the control is getting more. And I think that's why they want to be able to control hate speech and turn things into very broad terms so they can control it still. But back in the day, if a girl came out against like Clinton, they would, because it was like they had so much power. They control the news stations. They control this and that, the magazines. They could completely tear down someone's character to where it was just, you didn't believe a thing they said. And it was through just this huge fucking machine that would just spew out this stuff about this person until you didn't believe a thing they said. And that's what Clinton would do when women would come out and try to say he did something. They would just tear down her character, and it would just go away. And then there was another girl involved that they wanted to settle out of court with her. And it was something like, I think it was $800,000 I think they were going to get. But the husband was so upset that he didn't want to settle until the president apologized for what he did or made advances on her. Or I guess he pulled out his dick. And this woman, that's what was also a crazy detail in this show. This woman sketched a picture of his dick and was like, I can show you. They were like, well, how do we know that he exposed himself to you? And she was like, I can draw his penis. Can you imagine if she just drew the stereotypical? It was just a balls, bloop, bloop, and then just like, whoop, like a stereotypical, like a thing like that. But I guess Clinton's thing must be so odd. He's probably going to Clinton me right now. That you could pick it out of a lineup, out of a fucking, and she didn't take very long to draw this thing. I don't think she went to school for arts and crafts, but she drew this thing pretty fast on the table, showed it to the lawyers, and the lawyers were like, I don't know how they confirmed it, her story, but they were like, that's his dick, all right. That's his dick, all right. But it was ridiculous. Sorry, I got a weird text. But if you've never looked into the Clinton body count, this was the crazy thing that I was going to say. If you've never looked at the Clinton body count, do yourself a favor and Google deaths connected to the Clintons, and it is mind-boggling. The amount of people who have just fell asleep at the wheel, whose car brakes just stopped working, who weirdly suicided themselves. And isn't it weird? Like, that's the most crazy one that we kind of just accept that, oh yeah, he was assassinated. But anyway, Instagram, is Epstein. The Clintons were on that flight log. At least Bill Clinton was. And that was that during the election? No, it wasn't. But it was when all that scandal was going on. And there's so much weirdness connected to Clintons. And then that motherfucker he hangs himself in prison. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't seen Impeachment, check that shit out. It's amazing. And it made me think of this. Have you ever seen that show? You don't have to answer me right now. What If by Marvel. What If by Marvel is a cartoon and animated series of all the Marvel stories, but what ifs. What if Captain America wasn't Captain America and it was a girl? What if T'Challa from Black Panther took the place of Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy? What if he was taken? And it's like all these different what ifs. Like, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? And it shows like this huge like world where he turns evil and everything, try to save the girl he loves, blah, blah, blah. So it's all these different scenarios of what ifs. How dope would it be if we created a what if series for political events? Like, how crazy would it be if John F. Kennedy wasn't assassinated? Because John F. Kennedy wanted to change a ton of shit going on in the world with the political corruption, everything like that. Imagine if Pearl Harbor never happened. Imagine if Vietnam never happened. And imagine if Abraham Lincoln wasn't assassinated. Imagine how that might be the craziest one to me. If we did that with political events, if Abraham Lincoln wasn't assassinated, how much different? I wonder how much different socially we would be. We would be probably a completely different country because I feel like Abraham Lincoln was an amazing president, and I feel like the trajectory of where we went after that, I feel like it would have been a butterfly effect, a completely different butterfly effect. And here's probably the craziest what if moment of what could have happened. Imagine, now stick with me here. Imagine if Christopher Columbus didn't accidentally land in America, but he actually made it to India. I believe that was where he was going, which is why they called him Indians, because he thought he was in India. Fucking idiot. But imagine a what if story scenario, and I might have to write this movie. Imagine if the Native Americans were never, at that time in history, connected and met the white man, and there wasn't, what was it? Smallpox, chickenpox, didn't just run rampant, the diseases and everything. And imagine if Indians, a world where Native Americans rose up to be a superpower in the world now. We're like with technology and the way the landscape was and everything. Imagine if none of that ever happened. Imagine if we never broke off from Britain. And we just said, fuck it, yeah, we'll keep paying your bullshit taxes, whatever it was. That would be crazy. How boring, huh? I think about that. It's like, there's so many. Do you think some Europeans that stayed in Europe are like, dude, what the fuck? You're just not part of this anymore? Like some friend that you didn't know? We're like, dude, you were like, I'm just going to go for a week. I'll be back. And it's like, sorry, man, I'm a different country now. And it's like, the fuck? Do you even drink tea anymore? Nah, fuck that shit. I don't do that tea shit anymore. It's for the birds. It's for you white bitches over there. I'm tan now. I'm out in America, wild frontier. I'm fishing. I'm shooting bears and shit. Bison, buffalo. Okay? That would have been, honestly, sometimes I fantasize, you know what I'm saying, about going back in time. I would have loved to be in America during the wild frontier. Maybe just to go back there. Like I prepare here and then I go there for like a 3-day weekend and then I come back here to technology. Because that's always the other thing. People love saying they were born in the wrong era. I do it too. But the truth is, I'm a modern man. This is the world I grew up in. This is my reference. Air conditioning for one. Sleeping in a Tempur-Pedic bed for another. I love internet. I love technology. I would enjoy that, just the vastness of experiencing it, going through the wild frontier, the animals, the amount of animals that were at that time, just undiscovered land. How crazy would that be? Like GPS weighs a lot of the parts, especially in America. The blank spots in the map have all been filled in. That's a bar. But imagine you're just walking over a hill and you're like, I don't know what the fuck's over here. And then you walk over the hill and then you just see this like vast lake and mountains and snow and deer and elk. And you're like, I shall build my home here. You know, how crazy. That would just be mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. But what are some of your, we just had it's your feminipafam yet. What are some of your fantasies? What would be a what if that you would be interested in? DM me. I would like to know that. Is it a world where there's not an Evan Lopez? There almost wasn't. This is an alternate reality where I did make it through. Like I am the alternate reality. Regular reality is I'm not a vasectomy baby. Because regular reality is supposed to be that my dad got a vasectomy. I don't know if you know this. I'm a proud vasectomy baby. There's something, I Googled it once. There's a 0.01 of a 0.01 chance that I was born because my dad got a vasectomy and 0.01 of 0.01 vasectomies reverse. I hit the brakes on that shit, said, reverse, beep, 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 back that shit up, reconnect the wires in there and everything. So I am that alternate reality. So just think about it, that there might have been another world where there wasn't a 7 Minutes in Heaven podcast. But also there's got to be another alternate reality where they didn't give me such a shitty first name. Evan. Don't even get me started on it again. I wished I lived in the alternate reality where my dad stuck to his guns and actually named me Juan Carlos Saturnino Napoleon Lopez. That was the universe I would have drowned in. Drowned in pussy. Hey, how you guys doing? So stupid. So stupid. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We really got into some rabbit holes, but that's what we do here, okay? I just want to say that everybody who downloads the podcast, who listens to the podcast,
we appreciate you, especially during spooky season.
that was a weird sound. But go forth this week. Know that I love you. I need you. You complete me. Be happy, be fruitful. Get out of your comfort zone. Remember, no matter what, at the end of the day, I still love you.